Welcome everyone. In this lesson we're going to create a basic head and face template in a cartoon style. Now this template will work for male and female characters and it will be the foundation for our head drawing system. The basic concept you need to understand is that heads are approximately 10 units tall by 6 units wide. Now actually they're a little more than 6 units wide, but we're going to say 6 by 10 is the basic formula that we can use. And from there we can adjust that formula to make different head variations. So concept number one is that human heads are basically 10 units tall and 6 units wide. Actually they're 6 and a bit, but we're going to use a 6 by 10 formula and we can adjust from there to make different head variations. Okay, so the foundation for our head drawing system is going to be a 6 by 10 unit model. Okay, and that's what we are looking at right here. So in this first example, I'm going to use a 6 by 10 template here that I've made up. Now the basic unit is 5/8 of an inch for each unit. There's 6 wide by 10 down. Okay, so basically this ends up being 3 3/4 inches wide, 6 1/4 inches tall. And that's a nice size to use on a full page like this. So let's start. I'm going to start by doing a basic outline of our template here. I'm going to draw some hash marks for the vertical guideline and the horizontal halfway points. And then I've put a little hole here so I can mark the center of my template here. So there we go. And then I'm just going to very lightly draw a halfway line here, dot a guideline down the center, and then I'm going to chop this template into quarters. And basically we're just creating a system that we can visualize how to draw heads from. And because this is a 6 by 10 model, one other thing you need to understand is that the top of your skull is a little bit wider than the jaw. So I like to shave off a little bit on each side, okay? And there we go. And then I'm going to draw halfway from the top of the skull to 1/4. That's obviously 1/8, 3/8 here, then 5/8 here. Now after you get used to this, you don't need to draw in all these lines, but we need to build a foundation and a structure in our head so we can see things from memory. 7/8 here. Okay, so now that we have that basic foundation drawn out, we're going to start putting in the features. Now for the eyes, which are going to, in our model, sit on the halfway line, we just have to guesstimate how far out we want the eyes. And now if this is the outside of the skull, obviously our eyes are not going to reach out there. And wherever we put these 2 dots, we have to mirror them on the other side so that the eyes are placed proportionately and they mirror one another. So for the eyes, I use a 5-line system. A straight line on the bottom. Just above this 3/8 line, I'm going to draw the top of the top eyelid. That's line 2. Line 3 and line 4 are the outside of the iris, and then line 5 is the actual pupil. So let's do that again. 1, just above the 3/8 line for the top lid, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 lines. Above that, of course, is the eyebrow. Somewhere between 1/4 and 3/8, you're going to put your eyebrows, and you can decide on the design and height of them later, but for now we're just going to do a basic curved line. The tip of the nose we're going to put for now at the 5/8 point, so I'm just going to draw a simple nose like that. Okay, and the tip of it's right here sitting at 5/8. This is 3/4 right here from the top, 1/4, 2, 3, and just underneath that is where I put the mouth opening. At the 7/8 line, I'm going to angle in the jaw. Okay, like that. Now remember, the bottom of the skull is a little less than 6 units wide, so that's why we've shaved off a bit here. And the jawline is here. Now from here, we're going to put in the ears. The ears I do with 3 lines. So I go halfway up the eye to this inside line where we've shaved off a bit, and then 1, 2, and then to the bottom of the nose is the 3rd line. 1, 2, and 3. So my basic ear is 3 lines. Now the inner contours of the ear, I'll just do like this. 1, 2, and a hoop. 1, 2, and a hoop. 1, 2, and a hoop. Okay, and then sometimes I'll put in a little crease like that. Okay, so we have eyes and eyebrows, nose and a mouth. We've chopped the chin off, put in some ears, and then let's do the hairline. Now the hairline can be above or below, but a basic standard that will always work is to make the hairline at the 1/8 mark. So I use a little bird wing shape here, like that. Okay. Now the top of the skull is not square, so we have to angle it off also, and from here I'm going to the outside of those 6 units right here, whereas the jaw's just a little bit on that part we shaved off. And there we go, we have our basic head template, except for we need a neck, and I like to go to the outside of the eyes for my neck. We'll pretend this character has just a basic t-shirt on. Okay, and there we go. So my neck design is basically that. Yeah, 5 lines for the eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 line for the eyebrows, a bent line for the nose, a straight line for the mouth. Very simple, but it puts all the features in place. We place the features very easily using this method. Okay, so that's a 6 by 10 unit head model. Now, the other way that I think of doing these is using a 5 by 10 model. So let's do that. So now I'm going to show you my, if I can find it, here it is, 5 by 10 template. Okay, still it's 5/8 of an inch for each unit, but there's only 5 across, and to the halfway point 5 down. Obviously to the bottom is 10. So let's do this 5 by 10 model. 5 by 10 template. Now, halfway point, center of the whole thing, and halfway point here. Whoop. And then I'm going to put little hash marks again for the vertical and horizontal line guidelines. Boom, boom, boom. I keep on doing that too dark. There we go. Vertical guideline. Now, draw our quarters in here. Chop this up so we can place our features. So we basically break it into 1/8. And this is only 5 units wide, so we know we can add on a little bit on the top part of the skull, like so. All right, placing the features. Figure out where you want one eye and then mirror it on the other side. Okay, and then we can place the eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The tip of the nose will be here. The opening of the mouth will be just under 3/4. Shave off the jaw. Put in some eyebrows that I forgot. There we go. At 1/8 is where our hairline is going to be. And then this is a 5/8 model. Remember, halfway up the eye, we are going to do our 3-line ear. Boom, boom, boom. Do the inner contour line. On the outside of the eye is our guide for the neck. There we go. Angle off the top of the skull. I'm going to make it just a little wider. There we go, like that. And there's a 5x10 template design. So the thing I like about the 5x10 template model is that each upper and lower section is a square. So if I start off, if I'm doing this freehand and I start off with a square, make another square, okay, then I can figure out where to place things pretty quick. Okay, do the ears, the nose, the mouth, angle off the jaw. Now make the top part of the skull a little wider. Hairline. And I drew these eyes just a little high, but I can fix them. And there we go, we have our basic model. And that works really well. But I can also do it keeping in mind like what a 6x10 model looks like. And I just know that the rectangles are going to be a little wider, so they're not really square. And then just the same process. Shave off a bit of the jaw. And this eye is a little cockeyed, but there we go. Hairline. Neck. And there we go. And after a while, you kind of gain a sense of doing it. That is probably one of the worst examples I've done in a long time. And let's just fix those eyes. Much better. Okay. So that's the 5x10 model. Here's the 6x10. 6x10, you have to shave off a bit. Let's say take away. Take off a bit on the jaw. Whereas on the 5x10 template, you have to add to the skull. Add to upper skull. All right, let's do a couple freehand here. So I'm going to use the basic 6x10. And when I do heads, I basically just start off with 3 lines. I know this is 6x10, so I know they're going to be a little wider than squares. The top and the bottom half. So they're definitely not squares. Center line, quarter, and we can probably figure it out from here. So the eyes, a little bit above halfway here. Eyebrows are in here, halfway is the nose point, just below the 3/4 is the mouth, and This is 6 by 10, so the ears are going to come in just a little bit, like that. Contour line. Now the jaw is going to come in from this 6-unit line. Angle in like that. Contour line. This is not quite down far enough. There we go. And then the jaw is a little thinner than the top part of the skull. Angle it in. I'll round this one off. Give the character a neck. And then halfway up here is the hairline. Angle off the skull a bit. Put in pupils so they can actually see where they're going. And we have a head done from scratch really quick. And from here you can start putting in features. You can give them an actual haircut. Let's shape it like that. Okay. Blob on some hair. There we go. Decide on what style of eyebrows. You know, you might want to do something like this, where you are drawing some individual hairs over a thick line. If it was a female, I would give them lashes, maybe thicker lips. You know, if it's a superhero character, give them the big Captain America kind of mouth. It just depends on what you want. Ooh, that didn't work out quite right. Anyway, whatever features you want to put on, I guess it's because I didn't angle this here. There we go. Captain America style mouth. And this time I'll give this character a V-neck. So you can very quickly draw out characters if you just have a basic template built in your head. And from these basic models, we are going to be able to do very realistic style characters too, but we want to build this foundation and put it in our head. I'm going to do one more real quick. Here we go. Halfway vertical, center mark, halfway vertical, horizontal. Quarter mark, 3/4 mark. This is 5 by 10, so the eyes are going to be a little closer to the outside edge. Pupil, eyebrows, nose, tip halfway, mouth under, angle in the jaw, add on a little bit for the upper skull, angle in for the top of the head, the hairline. Ears start on the inside line here on 5 units, 3 lines, 1, 2, 3, contour of the inner ear. There we go. Let's turn this into a female character. 1, 2, 3 lashes. 1, 2, 3 lashes. Curve that up. Little Cupid's bow. Plump lower lip here. Okay. Round the jaw. And just give it a base, this character. And for hair, the fewer the lines, the better in a cartoon style. The neck I'm going to put a little more inside, so thinner neck is basically what we're going for here. And then there we go. Don't like this side of the hair. There we go. And now another thing I'll do for the eyebrows is I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll fill in this part here. Gives nice shaped eyebrows for a lady. And we can detail this for forever, but that's the basic idea. All right, so there we go. So we have a template built. Let's look at a few examples that I've done. Here's the individual features: the wing for the hairline, a 5-line eye, a curved line for the eyebrow, angled line for the nose, straight line for the mouth, our neck, and our ear. 1, 2, 3, and then the contour line. Okay, 5 by 10, you can create 2 squares. For females, you can angle the jaw in more. You could do it for a guy too. Here's a finished guy with the, manga style highlights. Oh, here's a nice thing. Using this little diamond shape for a mouth is really helpful, but we're going to look at that in the future. Manga style highlights. So now you can make many characters using this style of drawing and make them really quick, and that's an important thing. So I did all these in, I can probably do a page like that in 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Okay, a more realistic, where the eyes are realistic size sitting on the center of the skull. Keep that tip in mind because we're going to look at that in the future. And with our basic cartoon model, just remember that the eyes are sitting on top of the half line. Okay, if this is halfway from the top to the bottom of the skull, we have our eyes sitting above that, and that's more of a cartoony style. Here, this is a little more realistic because I've placed the eyes halfway above the halfway line and half below. So the eyes are placed right, but they're huge, so it makes it more of a cartoon style. Here, another cartoon style, this time with the button nose. You'll see in a lot of older cartoons. I also have my different style of ear here. 1, 2, it's still 3 lines, but just shaped different. And the inner contour line still works great. But the main feature of this is that the eyes are almost all below the halfway line, and this will make for a younger, cartoony kind of character. Okay, so we have our basic foundation for a 6 by 10 model. We have to take a bit off of the jaw. For a 5 by 10, we have to add on to the upper skull. All right, practice that until you can just do that from memory, and we'll carry on to the next lesson.